Hey guys, we are doing a bit of a solo cast today as it's late and figured I'd throw in a series because I haven't done anything all day, but various people are like, yeah, it's kind of late to cast and it's early in the EU, so oh well, should be a pretty chill series. Night Raid taking on Willowkeeper, and obviously Night Raid with some ringers here, particularly No Shit and Nami Swan, Present 25, Nightmares, and Misery, all typical players, but they're a bit down. Willowkeeper a good team, so I'm not honestly expecting too much from Night Raid. Figured this would be a good series to sort of just get out of the way. If you'd like to see it, it'll be here, and I will be as enthusiastic as possible, but I think there's not too much that we can expect from NR based on the fact that they're using two ringers. I mean, they did beat Tree last cycle, so maybe they'll surprise a little bit, but in general, I don't know how well they'll do. I don't even know who's going to switch roles, what's going to go on. Nightmares are usual. Support player. Present is, I think, usually their Suicide, and Misery their typical mid, although that all varies. They've got weird stuff going on with roles. Who knows? Anyway, let's just start talking about the game. And Parasite Kinesis, the first two bands from Misery, Cthulhuphant, and Swiftblade, the first couple of bands from Fusen. I forgot to turn auto skip pause on, so let's just do that now. So generally typical bands. Misery taking the Kinesis out, which is a little bit odd, but Boxy does play that hero and plays it well. And that's going to lead into the picks of Glacius, Tempest, and Pebbles for NR, Magma, Pharaoh, and Madman for Tree. None of those particularly crazy. Second stage of bands: Dr. Repulsor, Riftwalker, and Silhouette for the Legion team, Keeper of the Forest, Forbeast, and Puppet Master for the Hellborn. So a couple of short lane carries and the potential jungle option in Willowkeeper's hands of that Riftwalker, as well as the support technically. And Hellborn side going to ban out a couple of Suicides in Keeper and Warbeast, plus the short laner in Puppet Master, which is a little bit odd considering... Oh, they picked the Dark Lady after that, yeah. Okay, so then last two picks for Legion side are Dark Lady and Bubbles, and last two picks for the Hellborn side are Torture, and we're waiting on the fifth one, but so far, pretty decent lineup for the Legion team. We got some AoE potential with Tempest and Bubbles in particular, some solid lockdown there. Damage output should be solid from Dark Lady and Pebbles. Relatively strong lanes. Obviously Bubbles a strong laner. Hopefully we'll see a dual mid Pebbles with Glacius, and then a solo short Dark Lady. So they should all have a pretty solid time. And of course Tempest in the Woods, which tends to go a little bit better than running the dual support, yeah. And so, as far as the draft goes, nothing particularly upsetting. Plenty of damage, good amounts of lockdown. Dark Lady a very hard carry, so they should transition well into the late game. Pebbles should be strong in the mid game, open up the map for her to be able to farm and keep the Hellborn heroes down until that happens. Alonia going to be the last pick for Willowkeeper, and that's getting swapped to Balthazar, so it looks like we might see a carry Alonia here. Not a hero that I'm used to seeing. We've seen her a couple of times before in the support role, but haven't really seen her as a farmer. I mean, she does have pretty awesome damage output. The issue is mostly Shrunken Heads pretty much completely counter her. And on this Legion team, you would expect to see at least 3 Shrunkens. Dark Lady, Tempest, and Pebbles will all get one. Bubbles has the capacity to get one as well under the right circumstances, and this certainly could be that kind of circumstance with the Alonia. I mean, the Magmas as well. Pharaoh going to have a fair bit of magic damage with Wrath, the Hellfire, and the Rockets. Madman the only one who's really significant physical only damage type hero. But it's Boxy, so that's going to be a Suicide Madman, and his damage output isn't even going to be that high until the very late game. So I really wouldn't be surprised if Night Raid actually have a solid performance this game based on the draft. I'm not a huge fan of Willowkeeper's draft. They've got some solid AoE potential with the Magmas, the Alonia. They got great initiation with Mag and Pharaoh. And they can get to the late game even if the Shrunken Heads start to come out with the Alonia, but they're going to have some issues in the mid game, I feel like, when the Pebbles gets online, because Pebbles is going to be able to take out Alonia relatively easily. It's going to be able to take out Torture pretty quickly. Madman can even die if he gets off to a poor start. So there's definitely some potential for burst damage pickoffs. Bubbles, if he gets into the action, could help finish off the Magmas and the Pharaoh if they prefer to gank those heroes. Their lanes are decent, but not great. Madman a strong Suicide hero. Magmas likely to be dual lane middle. And No, it's Ro8, sorry, so it's going to be Jungle Magnus, which is good, actually. It's going to be mid Pharaoh solo, and it'll be top Torture and Alonia. And Alonia probably needs that. I don't think she can really survive on her own. She's probably going to need to get boxed, to get Torture to box somebody out, and that's what Torture's going to look to do with this Bubbles, which is going to be hard, because of course Bubbles has Shell Surf. But Tempest going aggro jungle here, which is not something we see too often. In fact, it's very rare for him. Parasite, the most notable aggressive jungler. And I guess here, figuring they have the Magnus, they've got Root of Z playing it, so it's probably going to be a pulling jungle Magnus, and that looks like exactly what's going to happen. Word of Sight goes down from the Bubbles, and they will be able to see the mag. This is something they've started doing before as well. They used to pull the first wave, and now they pull the second wave, presumably so that they don't lose lane control right off the bat, and so that they don't, you know, immediately lose levels on Alonia compared to the opposing team's Suicide Hero. So we'll see how that affects them, but I would imagine it's a little bit more effective. I assume they've tried that out. Nice counter word from Fusen as well, realizing they do have a Word of Sight. And stacks go off right in the beginning. And we'll see how that works out for them. I guess this is also a new strat a little bit. But ends up being a mid lane solo Pebbles actually up against a Pharaoh, which is a bit iffy in my mind. Present definitely a good player, but in general I much prefer to see Pebbles dual lane. Obviously with low armor in the early stages of the game, he's not particularly tanky, even if he looks like he might be. He has no problem really dealing against magic damage abilities, but he can get harassed out pretty quickly by auto attacks. Actually, top lane, stun in. Is that going to stop Bubbles from porting? Yeah, it will, and he's dead now. So that was very, very good timing from Ro8 actually, as he ends up, well, Fusen gets the kill, but that was pretty much entirely Ro8. Fusen did a lot of the damage, but if it wasn't for the Shell Surf, that would have been no way a kill. So, nice Bloodlust actually. That's going to prevent Bubbles from doing too much of anything. Fusen should be able to do just fine. Actually, bottom lane. Go back and watch this, because it's just me, so... Nice freeze, and somehow he didn't get out of this. Oh, Dark Blades locked him down, completely silenced him. The last auto attack actually from Glacius gets the kill. Apparently a ton of Glacius. That was a mistake. So, Boxy going down early on. 2 Nightmares on the Glacius. Probably better to have Misery pick that kill up, but clearly that wasn't able to happen. And we'll see how Boxy responds to this. He's got the stock going through. He's probably going to try to cancel this pot. No, maybe he won't. Just going to go back and continue to CS in the wave. So, haven't talked about the bot lane very much, but Misery at 270 GPM. Considering he has an assist, it's actually not all that good. He's currently 8-1 CS, which is below every single core on the Hellborn side. Ro8 has 0 at this point, but he's really not been pulling this jungle, actually. He's been more of an actual support Magnus. But in the bottom lane, no, Boxy does end up getting the kill. On to Nightmares, just keeps going in. There's a stock, a couple auto attacks. Crackeye with a rocket actually. There's the other one, and then we'll see if he can manage to get anything onto this Dark Lady. TDL has charging strikes, but will Pharaoh actually dive this? He's got the haste ring, so he's figuring like, yeah, I'll just do this, whatever. Might not have been the greatest idea. Yeah, that was bad times. Barrel roll from Madman, not going to come through because he doesn't have enough mana for it, but he's going to hang out here and wait for Misery. Misery obviously playing it smart and not going into the wave because he realizes Boxy can absolutely kill him. So Pharaoh does die. The alternative, though, is that now Misery has to go all the way back to base and then port into the lane, which means Boxy's going to get free farm here for about a minute. And that's real bad. Obviously, Boxy already getting the 1 kill on Glacius after he died, and he's going to have a level advantage as well. So when they get back to lane, Misery will still have the gold advantage, but Boxy actually going to have a level advantage, and that's a bit of a problem. Anyway, top lane, Bubbles is getting jumped again, it looks like. 61 GPM, still does not have a CS, has to port out to his shell, and they didn't see that apparently, so they won't be able to catch him. Ro8 is still really, really focused on boxing this Bubbles out, which is kind of iffy to me because Magnus needs his portal key, so I will say this is something that else they've been doing recently on Tree's side. They will actually just stack the jungle like crazy and then have Alonia move into it and kill all these jungle stacks while Magnus takes the farm in the lane. And that's what looks like what they're going to transition to right now. Alonia going to move into the woods, and she's got the Glacial Spike and the freezing Frigid Field, so that Frigid Field going to do a lot of damage as the creeps just sit in it. And she'll be throwing out spikes as well, of course. Yeah, there's one. And the Frigid Field's just doing continuous AoE damage, so she'll be able to take these stacks actually reasonably effectively. And that also means that Ro8 is going to transition into a farming role in this top lane up against the bubbles. Now, he does actually have a level advantage, despite the fact that he's mostly been out of lane because they've been so heavy on harassing these bubbles out of lane, so Fusen will continue to do that. He's still level 1. And they're going to get some levels in the Torture relatively soon if they want to do anything in this game. So, we'll see how the strat works out. That's kind of weird to me, but hey, Tree does a lot of weird things, so this is nothing new. Anyway, middle lane, there's going to be some jump onto Pebbles. Double Damage Rune is on the Pharaoh, and they're going to be able to kill on present. So, pretty nice gank there from Ophelia. She uses the Absolute Zero as her ultimate, which is her ultimate, really. It turns into a pretty easy kill. Bottom lane, charging strikes go on, but Boxy actually had the stock off already, so he gets silenced out from further damage, but he will still be able to live. Unable to get boxed out. Alonia continue to do her thing. In the woods, actually, middle lane, Fairman is going to get a kill on the Tempest. As he finds him with a DD. Mummy walls are there. Yeah, Glacial Blast actually not going to do all that much. A couple auto attacks from that DD. Really important. Wrath of Pharaoh comes through, and the Hellfire's there, and he'll just walk him down. So Pharaoh with a solid kill, actually. The DD lasting for just long enough. It's going to wear off in a few seconds here. Paddle's nothing he can do about countering that kill. Just let's go back to the lane and continue to CS. There will be another rune up in about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Pharaoh able to grab that one as well. His Wrath of Pharaoh is down, but he's got Mummy Walls and Hellfire. Hellfire level 3, in fact. And Pebbles with a Chuck, so Torch are going to guard the top rune, it looks like. It will spawn bot, and Boxy is controlling that one. He does not have a bottle, but he might just pick it up instead. Krake, of course, has a bottle. Doesn't look like he's too keen on grabbing it, though, so Boxy just going to grab the Invis and run on out. He's also picked up a Blood Chalice, too, which is interesting. I'm not sure if I've seen a Blood Chalice build on Madman before. I'm actually kind of surprised he went for that over the bottle. Seems like the bottle would have been at least as valuable, if not more so. But we'll see where he goes with that. So 4-2 hero kill advantage here for Tree. Relatively early on. They're actually up pretty significantly in golden experience, 2.5k or so in each, with 6.5 minutes in the game. That's a pretty solid advantage. Bubbles has managed to hit level 2, but Nami Swan is not really having a good time. He's getting boxed out really, really heavily by this Torturer, who's, again, still level 1, and has 13 experience per minute, which I think indicates about 1 CS in range. But Bubbles, he's sacrificing that to keep Bubbles at 40 XPM, so that's not the worst trade anyway. Fusen looking for this Bubbles again, and we'll see if they find him. Yeah, they think they noticed the trees were cut down. Nope. Bubbles just going to be able to sit here. And now he'll get spotted by the Torturer. And Impalement goes off. Bubbles going to have to use a Shell Surf here if he wants to avoid some of the damage, but now, nope, he will port to it. Almost actually got hit by a Ro8 there. He was relatively close to being in range of the Lava Surge. If he was level 7, I think that was a kill on Bubs. But Bubbles does have take cover, so there's that. And now Shell Surf down. Gonna try a bunch of auto attacks to Torture, but eventually choosing to back off. Huddle Lane, meanwhile, actually Misery falls, and I completely missed that. So let's use the back, and Pharaoh actually does hit the rocket, I think. He jumped into the rocket. Well played from Krake. Realizing he's gonna use the charging strikes, I'm gonna throw the rocket behind him, and then wait for the Wrath of the Pharaoh until he uses that. And he managed to pick up another kill on TDL, so TDL at 300 gold per minute, which is not terrible, but definitely not great. And in the meantime, actually, Pharaoh going to get caught out by Glacius and Tempest. Keeps the Hellfire on Tempest because he wants to prevent the ultimate from coming out. Nice Mummy Walls actually somehow spit him out. That was interesting. I have no idea how that placed him where it did, but I guess it did. Oh, top lane, Fusen. Somehow getting a kill on Bubbles? He did not play that correctly. Well, and Boxy manages to outplayed, and then here comes the stock and a barrel roll. So, yeah, outplayed. Also, I'm not sure how much outplaying is going on when it's Pharaoh. It's a 2v1 with Pharaoh, and you're like, oh god, you didn't kill me. Well, yeah, but I don't think you were supposed to have killed him, or he wasn't supposed to have killed you. It was more like Since I can't type anything because there's a cat lying on my arm, this is the first series that's been casted today. Very late cast, yes, but well. Sorry, Cannondorf, I don't actually know when you wrote that message, but that is my response. This is the first series of the day, and it shall be the only series of the day. As, I don't know, I've kind of had one of those days where you're just like, I don't feel like doing a whole lot. Anyway, we'll jump on top of the bubbles. He's only level 2. This Magnus is just crushing it. Torture also level 2, taking a fair bit of damage from that tower. Volcanic Touch can help finish off the creep wave. Looks like they should be able to get a tower kill here. They do have a 2 Hail Cannon wave, which is reasonably impressive. Magnus can tank a little bit, and the Hellborn will get the tower kill, so that's a pretty even distribution of gold there. And Fuza now up to 175 GPM thanks to that, as well as the earlier couple of kills he got, actually, the Bloodlust, and that second kill on Namiswan, who is currently at below the gold tick at 67 GPM. He has 1 CS, and Pebble's going to run into Alonia, gets the stun off, and the Chuck's there. That's going to be an easy kill, so right there is the problem with Alonia. Very, very squishy. Very, very immobile. If she gets caught out, she will die, and very quickly. But Boxy in the bottom lane is going to survive this. Has the power supply, not enough. The Dark Blade's just a little bit too much. Tempest coming in as well. They're looking to push this tower. They'll put a health pot onto Misery. That'll help them out a little bit. Tempest Elementals will split soon. Yep, there they go. And there should be a tier 1 tower kill for Night Raid, so they'll be able to counter their own Hellborn's tower kill with their own. Pebbles in the middle lane is going to fall to the Hellfire from Hasted Pharaoh. As the initiation with the release Kraken was big. Eruption coming in the background. Actually, a portal key is already up, and that's going to be an easy kill onto Glacius. In the background, they actually will get a kill on Fusion, it looks like. Misery died as well, yes. So we'll see if Tempest can get out of here. He can. Lava Surge is just a second late. That's an extremely fast portal key on Magnus. He just went straight PK. He has no upgraded boots, he has no bottle, he has a PK boots, and now he's finished off a power supply, but just a mana barrier before that. But it's an 11-minute portal key from Mag. Considering he had no CS as late as like 4 minutes into this game, that's not bad. I don't know. Proved pretty effective. Well, bottom lane, they will bring Pebbles, Glacius, but it looks like Tree not continuing to push this at all. They are up 10-5 in hero kills now, and they've continued to expand their gold lead relatively consistently. 5k gold, 5.5k experience. We're just about 6 minutes after the last time we looked at it, 5-6 minutes after, and it's just about doubled, so it's more or less in keeping with what's been the case before. Top lane, portal key onto Bubbles. Looks like they're going to try to lock him down. Hellfire's there, and they're going to wait for the Wrath of the Pharaoh. Actually misses it. Oh, that's unfortunate. Should have rocketed first. Actually, the rocket nearly kills him. But Magnus, 2 seconds of the portal key. He's not going to go for it. Come on, Root. Man up. Anyway. Looks like 4 heroes might be grouping in the middle lane. Magnus has taken a mana pot, and they will get the rocket onto a couple. Glacier is going to be in the field of vision. Magnus off to the side, 35 seconds on his ultimate, so he's not especially close to that. Instead, they'll basically just push this tower down and have Mag in the background for some backup in case they want to jump somebody, or if somebody tries to defend. Rocket can spot that nobody's here, and this should just be a free tower kill. Night Raid have pretty much no interest in defending it, and without Tempest and Dark Lady, I really don't think they could have anyway. Speaking of Tempest, we haven't seen a Tempest Elemental Void yet, so I think he'd be looking to use that sooner rather than later, at least to get some kill to get somebody back into this game. Ideally the Pebbles, I think he's looking for the most farm right now. TDL needs farm to pick up her cleave, but Pebbles needs a portal key very, very quickly, and he'll get one no matter what. He's just about 300 gold off of it, but not that big a deal. Boxy in the bottom lane, looking to jump the Dark Lady, actually doing a fair bit of damage. Charging strikes away, and TDL will be fine. Magnus not in range with his PK, so they could not stop her or slow her down after that. And Pebbles now about 150 gold off of his portal key, so I'd expect that to change some stuff. Obviously, allow the Legion side to put some more aggressive wards up. Right now, they're pretty much just looking at this one in mid, which is relatively far back. They also have one on the bottom lane. So a couple of lane wards, not going to do too much for Pebbles when it comes to going to try to pick off heroes. And that is his portal key as well. It looks like they'll try to pick off this mid tower. Magnus has an eruption ready to go. And there are 4 heroes here for the Legion side. Here comes the eruption off the side. Elemental going to be there. It won't actually spot him out. Dark Lady going to die right off the bat. Wrath of Pharaoh and will catch Tempest. 2 in the Mummy Wells. Tempest can't ult Boxy with the barrel roll. Will finish off both of them. So they end up getting 3 hero kills. Only traded that for about half the tower's health. And a very, very good fight there from Willowkeeper. And strong initiation from Ro8. Having that super early portal key seems like it's doing so much work. I mean, Misery just died. Like, he got 870 health, and that's only a level 1 eruption. He got melted by it. It's a level 4 lava surge, level 1 eruption, and he had literally no chance. There was no point at which he could have gotten away from that. He died before the stun wore off. So, man, I mean, I haven't really seen this strategy before, but it's certainly paying off big time. And our proponents clearly of splitting the gold from towers, so Fusen can get something, poor guy. He's got 200 GPM, which actually for him is a hell of a lot. He's notorious for having really, really low farm because he's trying to support his teammates. Middle lane, they're looking to jump TDL once again. They're going to bring Magnus, and actually there's a stun from Alonia, follow-up from Magnus, and they just wreck her. 870 health and no backup from her team. And, I mean, this is what the Legion want to be doing with Pebbles, who has a portal key. Hellborn are in the Legion woods, they're chasing people down, they're getting pickoffs in the opposing team's carry in her mid lane before the river, and there's just nothing that Night Raid is doing about any of this. They don't seem like they have the coordination. Top lane, Pebbles is kind of hanging out, but can they even kill this Pharaoh? He's got 1100 health, nearly 1200, and vestments. So, if they jump on this, I don't think he dies here. Guys, I think he's just going to leave. He's got the kelp field there. He's going to draw a couple of ports. Looks like he will fall. The question is, who's going to fall on Night Raid's side? Looks like Bubbles will definitely be dying. Glacius could also be in a lot of trouble. There goes Bubbles. Glacius going to be next on the list. Stalk goes through, and Magnus has the portal key. And Lava Surge? Just 1, actually, yeah. So he needed to wait for the range. Hellborn Courier actually died to Tempest in the middle lane. Oopsie. Oh, God. That's a lot of stuff. Apprentice Robe, Mana Potion, a lot of stuff. Yeah, and Tempest steals a mana pot and something else. A ward? Yeah, he stole a mana pot and a ward. That sucks. Oh well. Mid tower, gave me denied. Boxy getting there just in time. Lane alone going to get jumped on, but the Chuck didn't really work all that well. Dark Blades, they're going to get slowed down. Push book away. Alonia will be fine. Now she can turn this with an absolute 0. That's going to kill Misery. And now the Tempest ultimate going to be there to lock down Boxy. Gets stunned out of it. They will be able to pick off Boxy. It looks like here Alonia wants a last hit onto this Pebbles. Finally, they managed to get it. And the Wrath of Pharaoh off the side will be able to catch Tempest. That's going to be 1 kill. There's a rocket that'll help kill Bubbles. The chain reaction from Torture not going to be there. Push book forward. They will be able to catch Bubbles, but he's going to shell surf on out. Puzzle box from Pharaoh actually is going to do some damage, but not a lot. They will get the counter ward as a result. And that's going to be the end of that engagement. So they do end up eventually picking off Boxy, but they fail to get the kill on Alonia thanks to the missed combo from Pebbles. They end up losing 3 heroes as a result. Pebbles, Dark Lady, and Tempest all dying. And I mean, this is looking real bad, to be honest. This is 12.5k golden experience lead, 17 minutes in. Pharaoh's going to try to cut off this Glacius. I don't think it's going to happen because of a solid freeze. And Glacius will be able to get away, so well played from him. But this is a bit iffy. So we'll see how it works, but Ro8 is here. He's level 11, has level 2 ultimate, and they have to be careful about this on the Legion team, because if he gets the right setup, he could kill several of them. Pharaoh, not going to find anything. And Rocket coming through. We'll spot out actually both Pebbles and TDL. That'll stop the portal key. Magnus gets frozen, and he's going to die actually. The counter Wrath of Pharaoh, that's not going to be nearly enough. And now Pharaoh possibly in some trouble. Has the Mummy Wells, which will catch Glacius. They will be able to probably kill this Glacius. Yeah, Pharaoh rolls there. Pebbles now going to be in some trouble because the rest of the team is here from the Hellborn side. Kelpfield actually connects them 3. Pebbles will be able to walk out. It looks like they immediately call Pharaoh as he is unable to get out of the Kelpfield. And Pamela going down. Pebbles getting back in. Gets locked down by the chain reactions. He's dead. Fusen going to pay for that. Not that big a deal. Alonia managing to pick off a couple of kills in the background. Boxy now with a hat trick. They're trying to get Bubbles away, but he ports before the trees, and he's not going to be able to get out of this. There's a Glacial Spike going down. Silence is out the Madman, but that's still going to be a last kill for Boxy after the horn goes. And they do manage to win the game on Tree's side, actually, in just about 18.5 minutes. So not a bad performance from them whatsoever. I think Night Raid, obviously a lack of coordination played a factor in that, but in general, you know, it's hard to know how much to blame them, considering they are playing with a couple of ringers, and, you know, they're a good team when they have their full complement of players. But we've seen it before from pretty much every other team. If they use ringers, things don't look nearly as good as they normally do. And hey, you could argue that part of the reason why the best teams have been the best teams is because they have 5 players that show up every single weekend that they can count on. So either way, game 1 going to go to Willowkeeper here, and they take a 1-0 series lead in this round of 8 diamond matchup. And I'll be right back in a couple minutes with game 2.